give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Alright, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight we've got the East Coast web printers. These are the Arca series here, new cars here for RGR Racing. I'm Dean Doucette, he's Jared Carr. Jared, we are at Richmond Raceway tonight, and this is always one of the more interesting tracks.
Yeah, it is, Dean. I mean, it's a, 3/4 of a mile track, and we haven't seen the Arca cars out here on short tracks yet. They got a little bit of a short track schedule coming up, or at least a couple short tracks. And it's going to be really interesting because I think that this schedule is going to develop around those short track races. So guys are going to have to learn how to attack this venue.
Well, they are. They're definitely going to learn how to attack it. In particular, Jared, in this fixed setup, right? This setup, I mean, I took a look at it. We've seen a lot of guys with the push-loose condition that we're familiar with, and it might be worse than that. So car management going to be, top of the order here. And, of course, we've got ourselves a nice big field tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how many can survive, particular turn 4, Jared. We might have lost Jared temporarily.
Yeah, Dean, I apologize. I didn't hear what you said.
That's okay. I just said these are going to be a handful tonight, and these fixed setups. Turn 4, a big problem here.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with any car here, Dean, is turn 4 is often significantly different because it looks like it opens up. And we'll obviously get on board as the race goes on, and you'll see it from on board the perspective of the drivers, but it looks like the turn opens up, but in fact it actually opens up and it also flattens out a little bit compared to the corners before it. So it really unloads the right rear, so you have a tendency to be really loose off, but you need that stability through the entry and center of the corner. So you often develop a push loose based on the setup, and then turn 2 is always a trouble spot too because you're coming off of banking onto basically flat. I think technically it's 3 degrees, don't quote me on that, but it is pretty flat back there on the back straightaway, which also is going to be a trouble spot as well.
It certainly will be. And one thing about this series, Jared, and these cars, I love looking at them and going around here getting these close-ups on these cars. There are some good-looking cars and a couple of new drivers as well, as we're on Tony Burleson right now.
Yeah, and you look at the qualifying, which we'll look at, but I also like to look at the practice and everything, Dean. And you look at the top of the board in practice, George Leal, and then you look back here. Shane Fleming was one of the faster drivers, but he's going to be starting shotgun on the field, so it's going to be really interesting to see how some of these fast drivers. Jason Ratliff is out here. I don't think he raced last week, but he's making his series debut. He was qualified 24th, didn't put down a lap time, but he is a top 10 practice laps. So, Dean, a lot of guys, maybe fast guys, coming through the field tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt. I mean, Jason Ratliff's here. I think Sheffield out on the track as well. You got Otto Viani, Torgerson. I mean, I always hate to start naming drivers because I don't know where to stop, Jared, but there's a lot of good ones out here.
Yeah, absolutely, Dean. It's going to be a fun race, 150 laps. So.
As they line up here, too, I want to quickly reflect on last week, Jared. Thriller at the end there. Rick Thompson getting the victory.
Yeah, I mean, that's how else can you start a season off, right? I mean, it's that's definitely one way to start it.
It certainly is. Let's get into tonight's starting grid. It's Brandon Sheffield on the point. Boy, oh boy, is that dangerous. And Otto Viani on his outside. What a front row here tonight in the Arca series. You got Paul Travis and Lance Ripke in row 2. Row 3 will feature Rachel Hunt and George Leal. Row 4, you got Claus Williams and Tony Ratliff. Row 5, it's the Bulldog, Adam Newton, along with Jason Brantley. And you got Royce Valley and Jason Jackson rounding out your top 12 drivers.
Yeah, and you look back through the rest of the field, Dean. We got Austin Hunn, Ian Spear, row 7, Troy Torgerson, Anthony Burleson back there in row 8, Rick Thompson, Tom Ashley in row 9, Musial and Spear back there in row 10, Walker Whiting, row 11, Herb Ashley, last driver to put in a time there on the field. And then we got a lot of guys not putting in times. Jason Ratliff, Darren Cannon, who was making his debut, maybe in the league. And then we have Ricky Williams, Shane Fleming, Tom Lester, George Racone, Dibble last there on the field.
Yeah, interesting there. Got two newcomers to what I see anyway. Not sure if they're new to the league or new to the series, but Burleson and Cannon going to be interested to see how they do here tonight. Ready to get racing here. Actually going to take one more lap around here. Good looking field, Jared, and let's have our fingers crossed and everybody at home knock on a little wood. No incidents here on the start. You're knocking on your head, aren't you, Jared?
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking about how these guys are going to attack this beginning of this race, Dean. It's, you know, it can be a real challenge these first couple laps.
It certainly can be. Pace car off the track. We're ready to go racing here in the Richmond 150. Good start up front. Ottaviani looking for somewhere to get down. Paul Travis going to fill the hole, though.
Yeah, that's where the battle's going to be, is second place there. Big run by Ottaviani, but he's not going to get down.
Not going to get down.
Sorry, he did get down.
Otto got down in third, though. Travis got around. Big battles further back around Hunn, Jackson, Torgerson, Spear, and others.
Deep battle in the very back of the field. Dean, I'm trying to get my camera adjusted because I'm getting I've lost my cameras here, Dean, so I'm having a little bit of struggle here.
Yeah, you gotta load up those iRacing cameras because the rest of them are a little junked right now. Ripka back here in 5th position. He is filtered in behind Rachel Hunt in 4th. You got Leal, Williams, and Newton. Then Ratliff and Brantley in the top 10 right behind them. Looks like Royce Valley trying to make some moves. Or Royce Valley ahead of Jackson and Hunt, actually, who are fighting.
Yeah, that's where the battle really is, Dean. Way back there. Rick Thompson 3 wide, deeper in the field in the 76.
Thompson looking to come forward after his victory last week. He's got good vibes flowing through there. Perhaps some leftover champagne as well.
Big battle there in 4th position, too. Right now, 52, Ripka. Rachel Hunt up there on the outside. Doing a good job. Got a little bit tight, so battles all over the place.
Ripka throws it in there, and Rachel way up the track. Something we've seen her do many times. Gets a massive run. I love that move by Hunt.
Well, I don't think people realize, and maybe they're not comfortable, right? I mean, it is a short track, so you're kind of like, well, I don't want to run the high side. Why would I run the high side? There is a lot of grip on the outside here in Richmond.
There is, and it'll get better as the race goes on, correct, Jared?
Yeah, it absolutely will. I mean, I remember running a B-car race here a couple years ago, and the outside line was actually the dominant line. So in 3 and 4 anyway, not necessarily in 1 and 2.
So our top 3 getting away a little bit. Ripka up to 4th, Leal up to 5th. Hunt still on the outside. Now has Claus Williams and a line of cars coming. She gets in line though, and she'll come underneath Leal now.
Yeah, I'm also watching, Dean. I mean, there's a lot of battles right there in that middle pack. I'm also watching Jason Ratliff try to come through the field. He's up 3 positions. Tight arm contact. Jason Ratliff. And I think that was Anthony Burleson may have hit the wall and came down across the 55 of Jason Ratliff, and that was right where we were.
Wow.
No, it wasn't Ratliff. That was somebody to the outside of Ratliff.
Let's get a look at it here, Jared. So you get the 62 of Ashley on the inside. Tony Burleson on the outside. Burleson, little piece of the wall into the 62. he gets turned, nothing else happens. So Tom Ashley gets through unscathed, basically.
Yeah, apologies on the number there. I was on Jason Ratliff, not the wreck, so that's why I thought I was on looking at him getting wrecked. But Jason Ratliff is just behind there. Tom Ashley or Herb Ashley with a little bit of the contact. I think he's no worse for the wear, but we do have some pit stoppers deep in the field, Dean. I love this call set off by Rick Thompson and guys on back. They're all coming in, and I think this is a great call early on in this race to get a few pit stops in early.
Yeah, I agree. You see them all coming in. Everything looks fairly orderly here, but why not, right? I mean, this is lap 9. Good time to come in. I think this is a little minor advantage to this group.
Yeah, I think this is a great place to kind of try some strategy. I mean, it's early in the race. Richmond can go pretty quick because it's only 150 laps. So you got to make up track positions when you can.
Well, the thing is, too, Jared, is getting off cycle is a real thing here at Richmond, right? Like, let's throw you're going to have probably 3 or 4 variants by the end of this of cycles of tires. So it's not a bad idea if you're back in the pack to come in, get a set right now, get off cycle. If we have another caution, another 10 laps, maybe you stay out and the rest come in.
Yeah, exactly. And offsetting your strategy will always, if you do the same thing as the leader does, you're going to kind of be in the same boat, right? And I think anytime you can kind of change, yeah, right. So anytime I think you can kind of change it up, I think is always good.
Absolutely. Once again, these cars, I just love them. Let's get a look at Paul Travis there. Look at that. What a beautiful paint job. Got the East Coast web printers there.
Yeah, it's great paint. And we got John Travis out there in the chat, Dean, and he is, I'm assuming, I don't know this, but probably rooting on Paul. And we also have the JLB 704 rooting on the number 90. That's the Shane Fleming machine.
Yeah, another good-looking paint there. And, of course, Shane Fleming does most of these paints, so I love it. And of course, he's got that splitter and that arrow that I talked about last week, Jared. I love that for some reason. The skirt with the arrow, I should say, of where to put the jack.
The jacks. Yep.
I mean, they all have them, but to put a little paint on it, put a different color, I kind of like it. Some guys will paint right over it, but let's go back racing. Pace car off. This time, Sheffield and Travis Autoviani will be looking for revenge on the inside. Slow start behind Sheffield.
Tight battle there with Paul Kay and Michael Ottaviani. He's trying to get his spot back. Ottaviani tries to clear. Travis sticks his nose right there on the outside. 3 wide, a little bit deeper back there as the 6 car of Greg Ratliff, Tony Ratliff getting a little bit loose on the bottom. Lets Rachel Hunt go by. Now there's going to be a clog with the 6 machine.
Battles all over, and this is one thing you don't want to spend too much time doing at Richmond, Jared. Restarting. It's mayhem out here.
It is, and this is tight battling there. You see right there on the outside of Jason Ratliff is Tony Ratliff, Jason Brantley on the outside. Still getting used to these new paints. They're a lot different than what I've seen in the Gen 4 and the Xfinity car, as it looks like Cross Williams got loose off of turn 4, Dean. That's a trouble spot we pointed out in the pre-race.
Yeah, Claus is currently in 7th place. He hangs on. We listen to these motors roar around the track.
A little bit of loose as well. Jacob Musial got a little bit too low in 3 and 4, and he really had to back it down.
And that's something I think you'll see a lot of. And the thing, I used to always say, Jared, is like, you can't get loose, not even once. Because once you get them angry, they're just going to get worse and worse and worse.
I'm watching Rick Thompson right now, Dean. He is deep in the field, and he is in a battle for his life. Very tight racing back here. Can't find a way through. Somebody hit the wall right behind him. I don't know who it is. It's the yellow and blue car. Rick Thompson all over the back of Jason Spear at the same time.
Yeah, it looked like Spear might be, I didn't catch all of it, but it looked like he might have ran him up the track there a little bit, Jared.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from my vantage point up here. I'm trying to get the best camera angle I can get, and I just barely saw the smoke. It's great battling deep in this field.
Certainly is. Out front, Sheffield leading, and he's going to be dangerous. Ottaviani second, Paul Travis, George Leal, Lance Ripka, your top 5. Hunt still rocking that middle groove. Williams underneath. That battle for 5th position. For 6th, my apologies.
Yeah, Klaus doing a great job. How about Rachel? I mean, this has got to be one of her best runs we've seen from her in a while. I mean, we know the struggles that she has, and you know, we like to talk about, you know, the Parkinson's and the things she's doing for that community as she, you know, deals with it herself. But great run for her out there in the one machine tonight.
Yeah,
and great paint too. By the way,
you know, she's been looking really good the last couple of weeks or so, and I think she's found a little juice there in the bottle, if you will. So she's looking pretty racy out here in 7th.
Yeah, that's just a really. I like eccentric paints. I mean, you know, you're out here racing. You just put something out there, you know, that's going to be, you know, make it stand out. I just think that's a great eccentric paint that she's got on that thing.
Yeah, good looking paint for sure. I love them too, Jared. I love them all. Everything getting sorted out behind her, but it's still massive battles around Hunt. Brantley on the inside of the 6th car, Tony Ratliff.
That's really where the big, you know, clot is right there around Klaus Williams, Rachel Hunt, and on back. I mean, we got, like you said, Brantley and Ratliff battling. Right now, big move there on the bottom, that white machine. I can't tell. Is that Troy Torgerson? It is Troy Torgerson trying to go to the inside to the outside, but he made a big move.
Yeah, Torgerson in that Navy machine. Of course, Doyle Lawrence, his painter, and he loves those. Hope you're out here watching Doyle, rooting on the 89, up 3 spots into 12th. The big mover of the night, another fan favorite, Shane Fleming in the 90. He's moved up 12 spots. Lester, 2 back, has moved up 11. A couple of big movers here early, Jared.
Yeah, we talked about it in the free race. I highlighted Shane with his fast lap time in practice, and he had some good laps. Like, I don't want to just highlight that he had a fast lap time, but he had consistent lap times in his 10-lap run that he did. So I think that there's some speed in that 90 machine. He's finding it out. But, Dean, this is a big gaggle of cars. Rachel Hunt on back, and they are tight on each other. And Ratliff almost got ran in from behind there in the 66 machine or 86 machine of Jason Jackson there.
Yeah, we hop on board with Jason Jackson right now, and you see here just cars bobbing and weaving in and out of line here. Just slightly different lines, which is pretty normal here at Richmond.
Something I want to highlight too, Dean, as we're on board with Jason Jackson. Richmond is a track that you tend to get loose on entry. And that comes from usually driving it in too deep. And you're like, well, driving it in too deep, doesn't that make me tight? Well, it can, but not at a short track. At a short track, it makes you loose because you're shifting all of that weight forward, and you don't have the aero balance to counteract it. So I noticed Jason Jackson looked a little bit loose on entry, and as this run goes on, that could be something to watch for these guys getting in there and sliding the tires on entry.
Well, the other thing too, Jared, I'll bring up is Richmond famous for low brake bias, especially in the fixed setup, right? So you put all that brake bias to the rear, and the guys who try a high to low entry, you're going to deal with some loose handling on entry.
Yeah, and you know, when I run fixed setups, I don't run low brake bias. I run about 65%. And I just don't use as much brake. I just kind of do a slow roll on the brake, and it kind of comes out the same to wash.
Yeah, I'm similar, but I can't convince others, Jared. They're down there in that 58 range, and, you know, so be it. Teach their own. Right now, Brandon Sheffield out front. Otto Viani and Travis not being shaken. And in 4th, watch out, George Leal. We haven't seen a lot of them lately, but it looks like he came to race tonight. Looks like someone going on pit road here. That's Tony Burleson, our newcomer. That's a shame for him.
Yeah, he's on pit road, but, you know, really impressive run by Viani, who is putting some pressure on Brandon Sheffield off turn 2 right now, Dean. That is a really solid run by him.
Yeah, Ottaviani knows what he's doing. Of course, he's got Batman in his corner, Brace Reiner helping him out. And I'll tell you, he doesn't need a whole lot of help anymore. Spent some time with him recently, and I think Ottaviani is one of the shining stars here going forward.
Absolutely, I agree, and he's continued to improve. I mean, I covered him a couple years ago in the Xfinity series, and he was a little bit of a newcomer to that series at that time to the league, and it's just been uphill, up or down in a good way. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but he's been doing improved.
Let's take a look at the Bulldog. How about this M&M's machine of the Bulldog, the number 2, Adam Newton. He's up 3. He's into 6. He likes Richmond. I'm not sure he likes the car and the handling right now, but he's really good here, Jared.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job. Only up 3 spots, but he's trying to find his rhythm. He's had to work through some tight traffic, and when you're working through that kind of traffic, you're just trying to get through and try to get to the next pit stop.
Behind them, Claus Williams, and there's Rachel Hunt, still rocking the middle groove. Brantley underneath now. So I don't know how this is going to play out on the long run. What's your guess, Jared? Riding this middle or high groove, lap after lap, going to hurt her or help her?
But I don't know with the Arca car. I think in general, I think it's probably was too soon to get up there. But I think that right now it's working out great. But I will say that the 2 drivers, Klaus Williams and Adam Newton, that have cleared her, as you see Brantley really tight off the corner, had to get off the gas. Now he's going to get under attack there. We got yellow.
Yeah, he broke loose there at the end. I'm not sure. It looks like Lester down into the grass by the start-finish line. So Lester, with an apparent self-spin, going to open up the pit road sequence again. And here we'll have a look at it. He just drifted it. I think that's kind of what you talked about, Jared. Kind of overdrove entry, and then the car breaks loose when you're trying to get out of the corner.
So now it's going to be who's coming in and who's going to stay out. Now we did have Rick Thompson. He only made it up to 16. So I don't know if we raced long enough, but we raced 28 laps. If I'm Rick Thompson, and based on the fact it took me forever to get up that far, I might stay out here, but we'll see.
I think you might be able to make it from here, Jared. We're going to find out.
Everybody coming in. Nobody gambling?
Not a single person, Jared. And I miss the old days. If I'm in 20th, 25th, I'm staying out. Let's get some track position,
I 100% agree, but now it's going to be a race off pit road with everybody taking tires, everybody taking fuel.
How about 2 tires? Anybody daring to do 2?
Got some guys down the way pretty quickly, so let's see what happens here.
Looks like Ratliff might have been, Tony Ratliff might have been a 2-tire stop. How about that?
I think Jason Ratliff, Dean, was a 2-tire stop. 34.1 is my pit lane time.
You were exactly right. I was on the wrong Ratliff. It is Jason Ratliff. Let's go take a look at him. The 55 picks up, over the race, 20 spots, Jared. This is a big move for Jason Ratliff.
Yeah, this is massive. I mean, this is an absolute Hail Mary throw. I love this move. Like, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to sit here and be 100% honest. He could go into turn 1, and that car could be as loose as anything he's ever driven in his entire life. But I love that move. You got to do something different. You're mired back in 17th. You're not really able to move forward. You're kind of caught in that gaggle that was going on. So great. I think it's a great move.
I think ideally, if tires aren't an issue, of how many sets they have is not an issue, I think Jason Ratliff, looking for a caution around 25 laps from now, I think he can hold or stay in the top 10 until that point. It would be a net gain for him, and then the caution that he'll be banking on comes out, and all is equal. And I mean, I just don't. The only thing that could hurt him is going green, and I'm not sure that would even hurt a 2-tire stop by Jason Ratliff.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Dean, a little bit. I think this is...
Just a little?
Yeah, a little bit. if it all plays out, if.
There's a lot of ifs. I got a whole checklist over here, and none of them are checked, Jared. So you're absolutely right. It's a gamble. I mean, you're back at Richmond. You're back beyond 20th place. Why not? Here we go, though. Sheffield Ottaviani, remember, started second. Couldn't hold it earlier. And again, slow start on the high side. That's going to bring Leal through. Leal with a gift given to him. He'll hop into second. Here comes the Bulldog.
And now Newton needed that restart because he was actually one of the faster drivers on track, but he just didn't have the track position. And here he goes, Jason Ratliff with those two tires really pinching down. Maybe some contact, could not tell from my vantage point there, Dean.
Did not look like there was contact. It looked like there was about to be, so evasive maneuvers perhaps by the 55.
Yeah, definitely close, either way.
Jason Ratliff racing for everything here with this two-tire stop, and he's doing a great job, but Newton is going to work him over here.
Watching deeper in the pack too, Dean, Royce Valley very loose off turn 4. Kind of stacked about 3 wide, deeper in. It's Jason Jackson underneath the 88 of Paul Travis, and Rachel Hunt was on the outside as well. They're still throwing it in here deeper in the field.
Yeah, they're going at it pretty good back here, Jared. Holy smokes.
Yeah, Paul Travis, remember, he was running 3rd position before that pit stop, had a very bad stop. The slowest one in the entire field, 42.4 is what I have. And I think on your screen looks a little bit different, but yeah, at 43 point something. So yeah, bad stop, and now he's trying to work his way back to the front.
Look at Austin Hund here back in 12th. Remember, he lost Daytona by a nose on the last corner, but did come second, so he's in great shape. There's Rick Thompson, last week's winner. He is currently in 15th in a fight for 14th and more. So lots and lots of fighting going on at the back. Let's go out front. Sheffield walking away a little bit. Leal second. Then it's Ottaviani, Jason Ratliff, and Adam Newton. So that two-tire stop hasn't hurt Jason Ratliff at all.
No, it hasn't. And the battle back in the middle of this field is tight. We have Michael Walker, Rick Thompson, Troy Torgerson using every inch of the corner and each other as Thompson tried to get around Torgerson. Had a little contact, and Royce Valley might have gotten in the back of Michael Walker. So Walker trying to poke his way to the outside.
Walker fighting his way in there, Jared.
And Rachel Hunt still commanding that outside line, much to the chagrin of her competitors, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's tough. No doubt about it. It's tough on her, tough on them. I mean, but it's fun, and that's what I love about Rachel. Rachel comes to have fun. And you see there the pitfalls of being on the inside, Jared.
Yeah, it's hard to make passes on the inside. It just is. And Rachel's doing everything correct. I want to make that abundantly clear. There's nothing Rachel Hunt is doing wrong that she should not be doing or not allowed to be doing. That's the line she wants to run, and you have to pass her. And the outside line is quick, as you see her actually go down to the bottom now.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's doing that when necessary. I do think it's fun. Like I said, she likes to have fun. We have 3 wide behind them here. Torgerson involved. He's taking a peek on Tony Ratliff, not getting it done. Hund right there in the mix as well. Here comes Rick Thompson into that battle.
And Dean, are you sitting here and you're like, man, this is fun. I'm having the time of my life, because up here I'm like, man, this is awesome racing back here for the back half of the top 10. Or are you sitting there in your car and you're like, oh my God.
It's perspective, Jared. It's great for the fans. It's great for the people in the booth. In the car, frustration grows deep. You think you're faster than everybody, and you got to sit here and ride side by side with someone, and you keep thinking, just let me go. Like there, right there, Troy Torgerson gets loose. Now he's going to lose another one. He's been working for 10 laps only to lose a spot. It's so frustrating, Jared.
Yeah, he's battling back on the inside. Actually did really well. Austin Hunt got a little bit loose on the high side. Torgerson sends it in deep. And Rick Thompson says, okay, well, I was going to follow Hunt. Now I'm going to follow Torgerson off the corner.
Yeah, the ebbs
Torgerson
and
clears him.
flows here. I mean, Torgerson with a great job. He might have just learned something there, Jared. You talked about driving in deep, didn't you?
Yeah, and he did. And Rick Thompson did the same thing. Now Michael Walker putting some heat on Austin Hunt as the field's starting to get single file for the first time really tonight.
So is Hunt's car going away, or is he looking for a home? I think he might be just looking for a home, Jared.
I think he got out of sorts, and it kind of just messed up his rhythm, Dean. And sometimes you just have to settle in, find a spot, and get your rhythm back.
And there he is, the chameleon. No adapting necessary tonight. He started on the pole, and he's got himself a 1 second lead over Leal and Oliviani. Leal's gotten up to second, so great job by him. And these two drivers, I'm telling you, watch out. They will run you down over time. Then you got Newton and Jason Ratliff, so the top 5 heavy hitters here.
Yeah, and that pass just happened. Newton was finally able to get around Jason Ratliff. Keep in mind, Jason Ratliff, just the 2 tires, so just 2 right side tires. But Dean, you know, that's got to open up some eyeballs to some people in this field. Like, wow, we went 30 laps just about, or we went 37 laps. Jason Ratliff did not pit on that first run. And Jason Ratliff was able to make so much hay and be up front and maintain his track position with just 2 tires. I mean, that's got to, you know, sound some thoughts for some people deeper in the field, I would hope.
It does, and it's right. It's getting close to that spot, Jared. Let's bring up our pit board. So pit stop's on lap 37, now on 57. I said around 2025, that's when Ratliff's going to be begging for a caution or help his strategy. And I mean, right now, it'd be beautiful for him right now. He's in 5th place.
Yeah, just a third of the way through this race, Dean, and everything's starting to get a little bit settled up, but there is some battling going on deeper in the field, and it is a hot and heavy one back here with the 28 of George Racone, George Dibble, and Darren Cannon. I mean, there was some contact. I don't know how they didn't wreck back there.
Let's get a look at Darren Cannon's car here. The number 30
Monster.
of Darren Cannon, looking sharp. Little Monster Energy action there. I think I like it.
Yeah, the no sugar Monster Energy. So yeah, solid look on that car. I like the plain white. I don't know if you noticed, Dean, but I've been running a plain white car, so you know.
Yeah, it's a good look, and it's got that out, all those little, I don't know, detailing on it, I guess I'll call it.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Dibble, I will say this about George Dibble. I did not recognize him not in the McDonald's car.
Yeah, absolutely. George got the flames on there tonight. Looking good. A little sim magic on the side.
Yeah, back up front, Dean. I mean, the top 3 have pulled away. Adam Newton's lap times, though, Dean, are a little bit faster. Ottaviani's the fastest on track, but Adam Newton's second fastest, followed by George Hill, followed by Brandon Sheffield. So things are starting to accordion back up just a little bit in the front of the field. Then the mid-pack, Dean, everybody's running 8s. 7s or 8s from Ripka on back until you get really everybody in the field is running from Ripka all the way back to Tom Lester, running basically the same lap time.
So what, Jared, I may ask, the top 4, maybe 5, but let's go with the top 4 for now. What is separating?
Torgerson's loose on turn 4, Dean. Sorry. Wow. Good save by Torgerson. He almost wrecked that thing, but he's going to lose a ton of time.
89 gathers it up on the bottom. He'll slip in at 13th here.
And that's kind of the lap, Dean. We've raced this long, and that's when the loose off turn 4 starts to rear its head.
Well, that's what I'm worried about for Jason Ratliff with 2 tires. Is this the time when the car fades? High quality driver, doesn't look like he's going to fade a whole lot. But these top 4, back to my question is, what is the difference, Jared, here on lap, say, 25 to 30? What's the difference between these top 4 and the rest of the field? What do they do so well that allows them to be, say, a 10th faster at this point in the race?
It's all about how you manage the first 10 laps of the run. And that, you know, everybody's like, well, I can't go slow, I'm going to get ran over. It's not about going slow. It's about being precise with your inputs, being clean and smooth. It has nothing to do with how fast you're going or how slow you're going. going slower is easier to make. Oh, and Rick Thompson smacks the wall of turn 4, barely holds onto it. So people are starting to really have struggles off turn 4. But going back to what I was saying, you have to be, you know, very precise on your inputs. You don't want to scrub those tires too early. This tire model is all about tire heat. You might as well throw tire wear by itself out the window. It is all about how much heat you're generating, because you can never dissipate that heat out of the car, out of the tires on this model, Dean.
Well, on that note, I want to look in on the Bulldog, Adam Newton, because I know Adam quite well, and I give him a hard time about his pretty tires all the time, Jared.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it's a joke, but really, it's what allows him, like his last lap, maybe slightly off, an 8.5. The rest of the field behind him, only one car,
Nice.
Claus Williams, with an 8.4 was even close, right? So Newton doing a nice job here late in this, or in the middle parts of this run.
The driver I'm really circling is Ottaviani, because he's inside that top 3. He's really cut that lead, that gap down significantly, and he's the only driver running 7s out there. Like, only driver. Right now it's Ottaviani, then Leal, then Sheffield, then Newton are the top 4 fastest drivers. So Newton's losing just a little bit, but Ottaviani, I mean, he is coming through in a big way right now tonight. That car 715 to an 890 and George Leal in front of him.
Yeah, Ottaviani is just very, very good. He's so conscious of what you talked about, your inputs, how much wheel, how much gas, all your inputs. He's always cognizant of that. The one thing I would say for Ottaviani to move forward and get into victory lane more often is, number 1, get some poles, and number 2 is what we've seen twice here tonight, starting second and coming out of corner 2 in third. That's got to be fixed. It's not easy, Jared.
No, it's not, and you don't want to get penalty either, right? I mean, by jumping the leader. So it's a fine line. It's hard, and trust me, I hate starting second. I want to be abundantly clear. I do not want to start second ever.
Yeah, I hate
would
it too, Jared. I'm a single screen guy. I can't stand it. But my whole point resides around the 2 cars in front of him, Jared. You got George Leal and Sheffield. You might be a hair quicker, but good luck passing these 2.
Yeah, and that's going to be the key is, you know, you can be as fast as you want to be. You're going to catch up to people, but eventually you have to pass them, and that's where the problem comes in. And Ottaviani not finding a good way around, and I'm telling you, Dean, there's some battles heating up middle pack too. Jason Jackson, Paul Travis, Rachel Hunt in a dogfight back here. Rick Thompson getting tight off turn 2, and he has got a mirror full of Austin Hunt and Troy Torgerson. So I mean, everything's starting to kind of the comers and goers are starting to really take effect right now.
They are, and you're gonna see that, right? Like Rick Thompson.
Big move. Jason Jackson threw it down inside there of Paul Travis, and it was tight. Maybe some contact entering turn 1, Dean. Sorry, but I thought we were going to have a wreck there. And Travis not happy. 3 wide into turn 3.
Rachel Hunt circling around on the outside like a shark looking for chum.
My goodness, this is... And now you got Tony Rowland entering the fray.
And Tony's good on the long run, so he's coming. Wow, is this heating up? Rachel says, go ahead, boys.
And while that's going on, Dean, sorry to jump you around, but we got a battle for the lead.
George Leal looking to take the lead away from Sheffield. This is huge, and I kind of had the feeling that Sheffield had burned him up just a little bit. Leal to his inside. Sheffield fighting, swapping
and now
paint.
Lap car
of Tony Burleson back on the track, going to affect this battle. Which lane does he affect? He picks Sheffield. Wow,
oh,
Sheffield slips to second. George Leal.
Man, Dean, I don't envy Tony Burleson in that position. There is nowhere he could go. He's going as fast as the car will go. He's on the high side, and he just can't get out of the way. I mean, there's nothing Tony can do in that position.
It's just timing, Jared. It was the absolute worst time for them to run up on him, and it happened. But hey, George Leal says it was pretty much the best time for me. What are you talking about? So the 51 out front in lead. So, I mean, he's going to be tough. These top 3, don't forget about Newton. He's been closing here during this fight, Jared.
Yeah, he's down to 1.6 back. He was the fastest driver on track. for about 3 laps there when that battle was going on, Dean. And right there, 9.38, Ottaviani a 9.23, and then Sheffield a flat, and then Leal just about a flat. So, yeah, things are heating up at the front of the field.
I look in on Claus Williams here. He's currently in 7th place. Get a look at this paint here. Nice looking East Coast Wet Printers paint job.
What a paint. I do like that paint quite a bit.
Yeah, it's sharp
Just
looking
solid,
paint.
you know? But I was totally counting because this battle that Rachel Hunt has found herself in pretty much all night long was intense for about 2 seconds, and then Hunt cleared off, and then Paul Travis is now under some heat from Tony Ratliff and Michael Walker, Austin Hunt. These guys have been beating up on each other all night. That's the back half of the top 10 that we're seeing there on the screen, and Rachel Hunt just now getting clear of it, but these guys not giving too many inches out there.
Jared, I'm looking in beyond her window net right now. She's laughing. What is going on?
I think she's having a good night. I think she's enjoying her race here in Richmond.
I think she is. George Leal, your leader, starting to separate a little bit. Leal's so good lately. I mean, he hasn't raced a lot, but when he does, Jared, I mean, you talk about managing your tires, managing your stuff, and still being fast.
Oh, contact! Ratliff and Paul Travis get together on entry, and Travis hard in the wall in 3 and 4. Mike, every time we look away from this battle for 2 seconds, it just gets crazy.
Well, let's stay on it for a minute and see what happens. I mean, there could be some anger brewing here.
And I went back and just double-checked the replay, and I had an inverse. So Travis got loose off turn, or got tight off turn 2, hit the wall just a little bit. Tony Ratliff saw an opportunity, dove it in there. And when he dove it in, he kind of washed up the track into Paul Travis. I had it backwards, and there was contact there. Travis, heavy hit to the wall, but I don't think he's any worse for the wear because he hasn't lost speed. But I'm sure he's probably not happy about that.
Now, Jared, we look at this track map here, and I'm trying to figure out who is in front of George Leal. Is that Ricky Williams? That is Ricky Williams right there.
Yeah. Yeah, last car on the lead lap right there, Ian Spear on pit road. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's a scheduled stop or not.
That's another thing to talk about. Can they make it, Jared? They pitted on lap 37 of 150. I mean, I don't know if they can make it or not, but if they can't make it, it's definitely pit window time.
Yeah, we're down to just past halfway, getting closer to a third. 2/3 of this race completed, Dean. So, I mean, the handling has definitely shown up in a big way here tonight. Is the fuel going to show up here if we keep going green? I mean, now things are starting to get, we had that kind of gaggle that Rachel Hunt and Ratliff and Travis and all those guys are involved in. That's kind of spaced out a little bit now. There's not really a lot of battling going on. We do have a little bit of a battle with Royce Valley and Jacob Musial, I believe, there. But otherwise, or Tom Ashley in the 62. So otherwise, that's really about the only battling going on the track right now.
Yeah, things have mellowed out a little bit. We're just over 50 laps into this run. So, like I said, pit window probably around lap 100. These guys like to go a hair long. So I'm thinking that's where they'll come in. Right now, Leal, your leader, Ottaviani right there with them, Sheffield hanging on, and the Bulldog has closed in to Sheffield now.
Yeah, Sheffield had lost another spot where we were kind of watching that battle earlier, and now dropping back to 3rd position. He dominated the opening stands of this race. I mean, I think he'll go in the book with the most laps led, Dean, but that car has definitely fallen away from him just a little bit, and Ab Newton putting some pressure on the Chameleon.
Definitely is. We see Doyle Lawrence out there saying this track is tough. I couldn't read it all there, Doyle, but you know, getting loose off the corners and that, it definitely is a handful.
Yeah, car tends to snap around exit if you're not careful on the gas pedal was the rest of it. So yeah, 100%.
All right, good battle here. Pit stop's going to be super important. Jason Ratliff who only took two, he wants a pit stop badly, but he's hung on to 5th place, Jared. This is a win for the 55.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I based on what I've seen, you look through the field, Ratliff up 19 positions. The next guy, Michael Walker, we know how he is. He's up 11 spots. Then you have George Racone, who started shotgun on the field. He's up 9. George Dibble's up 9. So really, I don't know if anybody's really progressing through the field without some help from, people retiring or, just some other things going on. I think track position has been killer in this series already.
Yeah, I mean, it always is here at Richmond. You're not going to pass a lot of cars here. And I think that's why what Jason Ratliff did was so important. We'll see how it plays out as we approach lap 95 of 150. George Leal out front, Otto Viani, Sheffield and Newton. Jason Ratliff 5th. It's Lance Ripka in solid in 6th. Claus Williams 7th, right where he started. Jason Jackson, Rachel Hunt, and Austin Hunt round out the top 10. And I got to tell you, Hunt is looking for 6th now, or 8th, sorry. And she's starting to move forward, Jared, instead of back. That high line might have saved some tire instead of eating them up.
Look at her. Going to the high side right there on her own. I mean, Rachel has always been very good at Richmond. I remember racing Rachel in the Gen 6 car open series long before I knew her as a person or anything like that. I'm like, who the heck is this Rachel Hunt running the high side here? What is she doing? And she beat me, so she was doing better than I was.
Yeah, she was. When I first met her, she tended to beat me too, Jared. She quite a racer. Still is, by the way. And of course, we know about some of her health struggles, and it's just amazing what she's able to do under those conditions.
Yeah, it's just a great personality. I don't want to, harp on Rachel, but just a great personality all around. And I think we're all lucky, better to know her, just outside the sim racing thing too.
Absolutely. I mean, she spends a lot of time in my Discord, Jared, and she puts up with our nonsense. So if you can tolerate us, you're okay in my books.
That's fair. That's absolutely true.
All
Race right now, Dean. I'm looking around the field, and really the battling is kind of deep in this field, and there is a big group of cars back here. We've got Rick Thompson back here. We got Tom Ashley, Royce Valley, Jacob Musial, Racone. Haven't talked a lot about these guys tonight, but this is where the battling is, and Racone trying to watch and see what Royce Valley and Musial come up with in front of him.
Well, I was going to go in car camera, so let's do this. Let's go in car with Royce Valley here, Jared, back where you're talking about. Yeah. And I want you to just look and kind of get a feel for what he's dealing with, and then we'll go up to maybe the Bulldog or Sheffield or someone as Paul Travis comes onto pit road.
Super understeer. You can see it in the corner. Watch this corner right here. Goes down. A little bit late. I don't like pointing in that late because you're going to get pushed loose, and that's exactly what happened. So he got in there, he's loose, and he had to counter brake to stay solid. But watch right here in the middle of 3 and 4. We're going to have a pit stop from there, but look at how much he's cranking the wheel in there. That car looks tight to me, Dean.
All right, well, let's quick before they pit here. We'll go up to Otto Viani. Or no, that's not a good look. I want to find someone who I can see their wheel. How about the Bulldog here? And we'll have a quick look. Jason Ratliff on pit road. So is Claus Williams.
Here we go, down the corner. You see right there, he's actually not loose on entry, so that's what you want. You want to be able to counter steer down into the corner, kind of dip into the corner there. So the car's really balanced here. Let's see what happens there. See how he's entering straight into the corner, Dean?
Oh,
we got somebody
trying to get on pit road, I think.
Pit road, yeah.
Let's get a look on what's going on pit road here right now. We've got a few people in. Claus Williams, Jason Ratliff, Troy Torgerson. Here comes Musial. So our leaders, assuming they have to pit, they should be coming in here shortly. Leal still leading Otto Viani. Sheffield has fallen off a little bit, and Newton trying to hang on as he spent a lot of energy running them down. Tony Ratliff.
We're on the same page, Steve.
We are. I'm thinking Winn-Dixie here. Look at the Winn-Dixie. Who drove that, Jared?
Mark Martin. Probably the best Busch Series driver of all time, really.
Yeah, used to love Mark Martin.
So now the key, Dean, is we're down to the last third of this race. Now you have guys on old tires intermingling with guys on new tires, and you know how that can go. It can be a recipe for some exciting action from the booth, but some dangerous passing from the racetrack.
Yeah, we're seeing that now. You see Hund battling with Rachel Hunt, and I think, well, Hund is still on old tires. He's coming for a late charge here, Jared.
That car is hooked up. I mean, last lap he did a 23.1. Hunt, Buckshot Ripka, 313. Newton a 202. The only ones in the ones were Sheffield, who's on pit road right now, Dean.
Yeah, Sheffield in, but Hunt is flying. Either that or Rachel Hunt has suddenly lost it. It's hard to say, as now Michael Walker closes in on her. So Hunt's got to get to pit road, in my opinion.
Yeah, Hunt very slow, 23.6s. Oh, wrecking back here.
The leaders are on pit road. Both of them are in. Ripka's not, and Newton's not. Wow. I don't know how this is going to play out for Leal and Ottaviani. Sheffield coming off a pit road, or he's still in there. This could be tragedy for our 3 leaders. Jared, how does this work?
Well,
Ottaviani into his stall.
I think they'll be okay, but they're going to have to. They're going to be at a disadvantage to the people that did not pit.
They're going to lose a lap, are they not? No.
Yeah, I don't think they'll lose a lap. But man,
Here
that
comes
was
Leal now and Ottaviani. So you also have Riccone, and well, Riccone is full of damage. Let's get a replay on that right quick.
Yeah, that was a wild wreck. It happened with Royce Valley and Klaus Williams. I'm just not really sure. It was just weird.
Yeah, well, Klaus went 3 wide down on the bottom, and on exit, just I don't know who turned who there, but he definitely is turned. Everybody coming into pit road here. This is something else. Something always happens here at RGR Racing. Leal and Ottaviani are off of pit road. They're out front. Where is Sheffield? Sheffield's still on the track. He should be back in maybe 5th. So interesting here.
Let's have to see when this updates, because I think if I'm looking at this right behind the pace car is Paul Travis, who's in 21st. So he's definitely going to get the wave around. Same with Tom Ashley, same with Ricky Williams, Musial. Sheffield will be getting a wave around, same with Ratliff, Torgerson. Leal, is about the 8th car in line. So he's going to be the guy in the lead once these guys get the wave around.
So interesting how this is shaking out.
And that was the case, Dean. That wreck was a case of old tires and new tires. And Klaus had a very good run off the corner. And for some reason, it looked like Royce Valley just kind of ran the middle of the track in the straightaway. And I don't think, I don't know what happened. But
yeah, I mean, that's what I've seen too, Jared. I mean, I don't want to judge, because you really got to look at multiple angles and really see what's going on. But it looked to me like Klaus thought Royce would filter up a bit, and he didn't. Who knows?
Right.
Who's at fault? Don't know. But they're in a little bit of trouble here, and we'll see how it shakes out as everybody getting the wave around now. So you see a lot of our cars coming around the track, and that's going to include Sheffield, by the way. Wow. So Sheffield did, in fact, go a lap down when the others didn't. That's how close our leaders were to going a lap down, Jared.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying. Earlier when we were looking at the wave around cars, he was the second to last car to barely beat him out. Spear and Jackson trapped a lap down.
Pace car's off. They're going to have to race back to the back of the pack here. George Leal leads them, and he's down and away. Ottaviani this time, better job, slips into second. Newton sleeping at the wheel. Ripka's going to try and take him on the outside.
Yeah, and Sheffield, I mean, he is not even up to the back of the field. That is a tough break for the guy that dominated the opening stands of this race.
Yeah, super tough break for sure. That's Richmond in a nutshell. These cautions will hurt you and help you. And oh, Rachel Hunt loose down into the grass. She saves it, will stay green. What tragedy for her. She was having a fantastic race.
That's heartbreak right there for a lot of the fans out there for sure, because that, I mean, she was in the top 10 all night. Now, but Dean, you look at this race, I mean, we're down to the last 40 laps, and 40 laps at Richmond is basically like 20 laps in any other track. So this is go time.
It's go time, and Rick Thompson, last week's winner, slips into 6th. In front of him, last week's 2nd place finisher, Austin Hund, into 5th. So they're making moves late. Out front, Leo leading. Newton has held on to 3rd, Ripka 4th, so this is highly entertaining right now.
Yeah,
Deron Cannon, too, Jared, into 8th, our rookie.
Yeah, you think about Rick Thompson. I mean, he has not had a race to remember up until this point. I mean, he's been running somewhere between 17th and 22nd all night long, and all of a sudden the caution breaks for him, and he's up at the top 10. And this is exactly what he needed.
Well, what did he do at Daytona, Jared? He was in the 2nd pack with 1 lap to go. They weren't even to the back of the 1st pack yet, and he won the race.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly.
Miracles do and can happen. Rick Thompson trying to make it happen. Hopefully he doesn't get too carried away with it. Fight a little further back. Looks like Herb Ashley, Jason Spear a lap down.
Yeah, Tom Lester, the last car on the lead lap there in 15th. He's gotten some damage from earlier. But man, oh man, I mean, this has been a race and a half. All kinds of stuff going on in this race.
I don't think it's over yet as far as wrecks either, Jared. You get a wreck this late, people amp up a little bit. It's gonna get interesting here. Here goes Hund looking underneath a Ripka.
Big move there. Hund with a great move inside. Just barely got that nose in there.
Austin Hund and that paint job that Jared might think is damage on the front end.
Yeah, it definitely was confusing at Daytona. Not so much here tonight, but I mean, still kind of looks
I thought it a couple of times tonight myself, Jared, just to be fair.
Looks like the lip is kind of bowed up.
Look at Thompson. He almost stuck it in 3 wide there, Jared. He wants to go forward.
Yeah, this is great racing, and Rick Thompson, Dean, I think he's hungry. I think he's got his opportunity. He got out of the back of the pack. Like I said, I don't think it's been easy to pass here tonight. I think it's been tough. We've seen a couple guys come and go, but really nobody really moving forward except for some guys toward the back of the field that kind of moved up because drivers dropping out of the race. And really, at the end of the day, Dean, it has been a whale of a difficult time passing here tonight.
It has, but I like the outside here. I like Ripka and Thompson. They're working over Hund, and Hund eventually, you know, he's likely to get a little bit loose on exit, Jared, and those guys are going to scream right around him.
Yeah, and you know, you look at these other drivers. I mean, you talked about Darren Campbell up into 8th, a great run for him tonight. Shane Fleming now entering the top 10, just ahead of Herb Ashley. Guys we haven't talked a lot about tonight, but are starting to find themselves having good runs.
Yeah, Shane Fleming up 17 spots into 10th. How about that for the 90? And for old JBL, I think, out in the chat there, rooting him on.
You know, I want to go back to Jason Ratliff. I mean, he made a decision to take the 2 tires. It worked out. He pitted, and then the caution comes out, and the entire night, his entire strategy for the entire night was blown up in an instant because of that caution. So, you know, this caution worked out for Rick Thompson. It did not work out for Jason Ratliff and Brandon Sheffield. Man,
it's heartbreak. When you come in, this is why everybody likes the long pit, Jared, because the short pit gets burned sometimes, and it's heartbreak. Yeah. Right now, Thompson gets around Hund. Now Hund is going to have Michael Walker trying to power on the outside. Walker up 14 spots into 7th.
Yeah, Darren Campbell up 17 as well. You know, they're the 2 joint leaders. Cannon and Fleming both up 17. Tom Lester up 13. Walker up 14. Rick Thompson up 12. That's our big gainers.
Yeah, how about the big possum sitting in there in 8th place? Haven't talked about him. He's our sponsor, basically. We got to get him some airtime here. The big possum, Jason Brantley, looking good here tonight. He's in 9th. He calms down and falls in behind these guys.
Yeah, that's another driver that I think he started out good, and he kind of found a rhythm. a little bit off of where he started, but I think this caution really paid dividends for him because he's really finding himself up toward the front of the field now.
Now let's go back to the front. You know, Leal and Ottaviani, these guys are mirror images of each other the way they drive, at least in theory. The 51 and the 53, and now look at that. Ottaviani throws it into the second lane there, searching for a little something.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, the aero impacts are not as high in the Arca car as they are in the truck or the Xfinity car because they don't have a splitter. They have a valence. It may look like a splitter. It is not a splitter. They operate totally differently. You see right there, he's getting to the high side. I mean, he's getting a run up there, Dean.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's working out, and I like this. We got 22 laps to go. He's looking for something different, and he's starting to find it. He's getting these runs. Oh, and we're under caution. Jason Jackson, he's gone to pit road. I don't know who else involved. Let's get a look at it. So you see Jackson, and there's Herb Ashley underneath him, and Jackson... Ooh, Herb pushed up a little bit in the corner and got him, and finished off by brother Tom Ashley. So the Ashleys team up on Jackson.
Yeah, tough race, but I'll tell you what that benefited. Jason Spear going to get back on the lead lap here. He'll be our lucky dog driver. But it's going to benefit Jason Ratliff and Brandon Sheffield.
Now,
there is no reason you don't come down pit road if you're those two guys.
Well, how about if you're Tom Lester or Rachel Hunt, 14th or 15th, Jared?
They're coming in. Got to come in.
Why?
I think Leo has an Leo's staying out. So here we go. Ripka's going to be the first guy. Ripka, followed by Thompson. Michael Walker decides to stay out. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, this is going to be crazy. Leal, Ottaviani, Newton, and Walker stay on the track. Most everybody else, except for Rachel Hunt, will come in. So Hunt will go up to 5th place. Everybody else on pit road. Wow.
I like that move. You know, I was wondering who was going to be the first one in. I looked like Leo and Ottaviani were pretty committed to staying out. Adam Newton looked like he was debating, and then after that, it was like Ripka was like,
I got to challenge this, Jared. You just said there's no way you're not coming in.
No, not if you're in the lead. I didn't say that. I was talking about, you know, Sheffield and those guys in the back. There's no way you're not coming in if you're in the back of the field. Up front, it's a tough decision.
This is why I've always wanted to be a political reporter, Jared, to ask the tough questions.
But might want to get the hearing checked first.
There is some of that as well, no doubt. That is fair. Jason Spear comes in on the second lap. He was a lap down. Guy's staying out. He cannot get the wave around. I guess he was not the lucky dog. If he was, this is a huge mistake. Unless he already got it and came around.
Yeah, Jason already got it. Yeah, he already went around.
Okay, my mistake. Again, not listening, Jared. So Spear will come down and around, and he'll be their 16th lead lap car, so that's good news for the 83. And that's how Richmond goes, Jared. You're having a terrible night. You're back in the 20s or wherever Jason was, and all of a sudden, you're in the top 16, you're on the lead lap, and likely with 18 to go, we're going to see one or two more wrecks at Richmond. And who knows? He could end up with a top 10 or top 5 out of this.
Yeah, the only problem is he does have to stop behind the lap cars, so he's going to have to work through that traffic a little bit.
Yeah, he needs a quick caution, right, to get around the lap cars.
Yeah. Brandon Sheffield, by the way, sped on pit road there, Dean, so he has to start at the back of the field too.
Wow.
Which is probably not what he wanted.
No, I would say not. There's Fleming 13th, Jason Ratliff 11th, Deron Cannon into 9th. He's up 16 spots. Michael Walker, a big mover, up 17 into 4th. Here we go. Pace car is off, and we're back racing. Leal, another good start. Ottaviani, who's been working on that second place start. 2 good ones the last 2 times. Walker way up high.
Ripka pitted from 5th position. He came out in 6th. So, I mean, I think this is Ripka's play to get a good podium finish here tonight. But he's going to have to get through somehow Walker and Newton in front of him side by side.
And those tires won't show up for a few laps, Jared, so they're going to have to heat up first. Good fight. Rachel Hunt's found her way back in after going in the grass. Remember, she stayed out. She got fresh tires all around her. There's Hunt and Thompson taking it high on her.
Ooh, Michael Walker might have scraped the wall off turn 4, really using every part of that real estate. Ripka's going to clear. No, he's not.
Yeah, I think he might now on exit, so the 52 does come clear of Walker. Now Hunt takes a peek on the low side.
Sheffield trying to fly through the field as well. He's made up a few spots, but only like one literal spot on the standings, but has been passing lap cars left and right, same with Jason Spear. But the battle right now is in third position. Ripka on the outside, Rachel Hunt tight in the middle of corner of turn 2, and a little contact with Brantley. They're going to go 3 wide at turn 3. Oh my goodness,
Hunt needs to get to the high side. That's where she's been all night. She can't get there, Jared. The contact with Travis, they hang on to it.
Darren Campbell out the inside. Rachel Hunt contact with Darren Campbell. I mean, my goodness, this race has gone upside down for a lot of people.
Wow, what racing. Brantley up underneath the Walker, so Brantley coming forward. Newton trying to hang on, but the new tires of Thompson and Hunt have gone through.
Sheffield dived it in 3 wide. There's contact deep in the field. The 78's around.
Oh, Lester around.
It looks like, I don't know, the orange car, maybe 62.
Oh, Paul Travis.
Got into him.
You got Burleson and 79 involved. Let's get a look at it. So here is Tom Lester. Oh, and Ashley comes in and gets into him. Lester tries to hang on, but floats in onto the track, and Travis gets a big piece of that.
Yeah, I don't know who the last driver was in there, Dean, but that's, you know, we're in the Arca series, and I think that's all I'm going to say.
That's fair enough. I think the people understand. All right, big decisions coming up again. Newton's coming in.
Newton. What in the heck? That's a
with 11 to go, Jared.
That is a bad call, dude.
Well, it depends. If people behind you come in, it's not too bad, but it looks like he's going to lose in the order of 6 spots. I don't know. It might be a net win for him. I think he's seen how he was getting beat by those fresher tires and said, I can't take it. I'm going to fall more if I don't get in.
Yeah, Hunt makes sense. I mean, she was falling back. Michael Walker, I don't know if I would have pitted if I was him, but this is going to be interesting. They aren't going to lose a lot of spots. I mean, we're only got 15 cars on the lead lap, so let's keep that in mind. But I still probably would not have pitted there.
I don't know if Torgerson is on the lead lap now, or who got the lucky dog, Jared. I don't know if anybody did.
I think it was Troy Torgerson. It should update here in a minute here. I won't swear to that, though. I did not see anybody go around the pace car.
You don't want my tough political questions coming at you.
Yeah, I'm going to play right down the middle the whole time now. Yeah, it might have been the lucky dog. Also might not have been the lucky dog.
So Leal hanging on to the lead here. Jared, can anybody do anything with the 51?
I think these cars are so planted, Dean, and I don't think you're going to do anything unless you move them. I think that's where we're at right now.
Well, I mean, that's a known move here at Richmond. A little bump, a little nose. We'll see if anybody decides to use it.
What Michael Ottaviani needs to do is try his, and then the restart zone is tough here because you're kind of rolling the outside, but you got to get a better restart. You know, in my opinion.
Let me focus in on, say, Brantley and Fleming and Cannon. These type of drivers, right? They find themselves up near the front. Are they content, Jared, saying, what a night, what a run? Or are they saying, I'm so close, I want more?
I think you're saying, you're so close, I want more. I don't think you're a racer unless you feel that way, right? And the only time I ever feel that way is when I've been beaten up all race long, gotten some wrecks, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm going to finish 10th. I could have finished 27th. I'll take that. You know what I mean? But I think these guys, I think where you're at, you're trying to go for everything.
Well, let's see how it plays
He'll
out,
take
folks.
outside, by the way.
All or nothing. Push your chips in the middle. Leo on the outside. I love that move by him. That's going to bring Hund up into second. Can he finish the pass here? I don't think so. Ottaviani down at the bottom. Wow, good battle. Hund with a major run. Hund on the outside takes second away from Ottaviani.
Contact with Ripka and Brantley. Right behind that, Sheffield forced it 3 wide. He's going up the outside of the one of those cars back there, Shane Fleming.
Wow, Ripka and Brantley going at it. Behind him, Thompson trying to hang on with Fleming underneath. He'll hang on. There's Sheffield somehow in 8th. He's coming up here. And then Bulldog in this mix behind him. We're on 5 to go, though, and Leal looking pretty.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get to the end of this race.
Remember, we have no green-white checker. So the next time, I think that'll end it.
Yeah, you would be right if that's the case, yeah.
Newton looking for room. Fleming a little loose on the inside. Newton goes high along with Sheffield. Now he circles down low. What a battle we got. Fleming looks like he got some power. Sheffield into the wall a little bit.
Brantley clears Ripka for 4th position. He's trying to hunt down Ottaviani for a podium. But boy, oh boy, the battle is really around Sheffield back there with Fleming.
Yeah, Sheffield a little out of sorts here tonight. Fleming throws it in, almost gets to Rick Thompson. Oh, and he's loose off the corner. Here comes Newton. 3 to go. George Leal still out front. No real challenge, but Hund all of a sudden getting close.
And Fleming loose off turn 4. He's going to lose spots to Sheffield and Newton, but he dives it in deep. Newton has to force up outside.
And Newton into the wall, but it doesn't matter. He'll slip into 8th. Leal coming to the white flag, the 51. 1 lap to go. Hund chasing.
Reckon back deeper in the field, Adam Newton involved.
Newton is wrecked. We stay up front. Leal down the back straightaway. 2 more corners. Down through 3. The 51 will come through 4. George Leal will win the Richmond 150. It's Austin Hund and Ottaviani 2nd and 3rd.
And Ripka holds on for 5th. Sheffield picks Rick Thompson right at the line. That margin extremely close. 0.08 of a second between those 2 drivers, but I don't exactly know, Dean, what happened in the last lap. I just know Jason Ratliff, a couple others.
So here's from behind Newton. Newton breaks loose out of 4 and just wipes it. And nowhere to go for Fleming. Also Jason Ratliff. They're piled into the wall. They'll stay on the lead lap, so a top 15 finish, but nothing more for those guys. Jason Ratliff actually, I think, a lap down. I'm not sure. He finishes 19th. But the night belongs to the 51 of George Leal.
Yeah, what a race. I mean, I don't know who is really the best driver tonight. I think George Leal was probably in that conversation. Obviously, he won the race. But we really had a couple different phases of this race, right? I mean, Sheffield looked like he was the dominant guy for 85 laps, and then he ends up having to salvage and getting 6th place finish. Ottaviani was pretty much 2nd or 3rd all night, but he just didn't have enough at the end of the race. So, you know, really at the end of the day, hats off to George Leal.
Yeah. I mean, how about Hund too, Jared? I mean, late in the race when he finally had some track position, he looked fast, and he also looked like maybe the fastest guy at the end of that long run.
Yeah, I think just ran out of time, right? I mean, and we saw how hard it was to pass without the strategy. The 2-tire strategy that Ratliff did. Really, nobody else was really able to make moves tonight, except maybe a couple spots.
All right, there's your results, but we're going to go to commercial break. We'll talk about those when we come back. there at the Gen 3 supercars. They look like fun, Jared.
Yeah, I haven't ran them very much, to be honest with you, but they do look extremely awesome.
They really do. I mean, nothing like a highlight reel, to get your juices flowing. But this race got our juices flowing a little bit. Top three, we talked about Leo Hund and Otto Viani. Brantley, stellar fourth place position for him. Ripka and Sheffield. What a recovery by Sheffield. My goodness. Rick Thompson, last week's winner. He'll be probably your points leader still. Walker. Deron Cannon. Great debut for him, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a guy, again, that caution kind of came out, and it kind of showed, once he was able to get up there and stay, he stayed up there, right? I mean, nobody really passed him except for Sheffield coming through the field on a heater. I really think this car on short tracks, I think tonight a lot of people need to come back and look and be like, man, track position is everything in this car.
Well, it is sort of. I mean, Rachel Hunt, 10th. Good to see her get a top 10. She worked hard for that one. But someone I brought up near the end, Jason Spear, Jared, he was a 25th place car or something, to that effect tonight. He ends up 11th there, persevering through, and we thought it might happen, and it did.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to sometimes, right? Is just being able to survive the race and be there at the end so you can pick up these points in this long championship season.
And you see our others, Newton, Fleming, Ratliff, 13th, 14th, 15th. Not what they had hoped for, but that's last lap hard racing. That's the way it goes sometimes. You can find your favorite driver on the list. Some had more luck than others, and some look good, like Travis looked good tonight. Jason Jackson looked good tonight, but it just wasn't meant to be. Anyway, let's get into some race interviews here, and we'll bring in Mr. Otto Viani, the number 53 with a third place finish. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, man, it's Richmond. I think you might have had first in your thoughts, but first, second, and third was a battle all night long, depending on starting position and restarts. How do you feel about your race, Mike?
I'm happy with it. I'm trying to drag myself out of the depths of the points after a terrible Daytona week. So, yeah, we'll take third every day. That's for sure.
Man, oh man, that Daytona, they can scrub that from the schedule, Mike. I know all about battling back from that. But nonetheless, tonight, I guess where I want to go right now is talk about restarts, right? We talked about starting second. Me and Jared hate it. I'm sure not many like it. It's easy to lose to the third place car going into the corner. We said during the air that's something that you got to get better at, because we know we got to get better at it. It's to hang on to second, and you did it a couple of times late there. Tell us about what you thought about starting second and starting third.
Yeah, starting second's terrible for me. I tried to time it, and me and Austin and George were talking, and they were actually short shifting, and I was letting the RPMs get in the red before I'd shift, and that's where I was getting my wheel spin every single time. So I'm gonna go back to the drawing board, see what I can't learn from that. But those guys are good, so I'll take any tips I can get from them. But I think that was the main. I think if I could get out front, I had pretty good pace, especially long run. I felt like I could scoot on out of there, truthfully. But that dirty air, holy smokes! It just would not turn. I had just wait, and then take off where I could. But good race. I'll take it all day long. I thought I was going to get swallowed up by those new tires for sure.
I mean, there's other people involved, but let's talk like you, Leal, Sheffield, and I think I'm missing another, but in particular, those very similar drivers. We're talking about hundreds or thousands of seconds, not tenths. How difficult is it to not just race with them, but make a move on them?
Well, George is really good. I think he knew I was just a little bit faster, especially once the tires start wearing, because I was running a little lower. They were arcing. I was trying that arc in practice, and I noticed I'd start falling off, and then I moved it down to the bottom, and really could keep my drive off. And I was hoping that would be enough to kind of get me by, but I took a nose a couple times, and George was able to pinch me low as he should, and I had no drive off. So and then I went back and tried the high and tried a couple things. I thought I had some momentum building from that high arc in 3 and 4, but then cautions kind of kept coming out, and we had to kind of restart everything and hope to get George's tires heated up so then I could start trying to make moves again. But yeah, it's difficult here. This place is extremely hard to pass. Extremely hard.
Well, it is, and it's Richmond. You know, it's tough. People get on different cycles. Pit stops, choosing whether to do it or not do it can be important. What about late there? Were you worried? I mean, you seen Austin Hunt. I'm not sure if he pitted or not. I think he did. He ends up in second. It was a tough decision there at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was committed to whatever George was going to do. I thought I was hoping there was going to be enough cars that stayed out to kind of give us a buffer so we could race it out. And then they came quick on the high side. George did a genius move of taking the high side.
Yes.
When he did it, I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right. And he was able to, he got the practice of aero blocking because he was doing such a phenomenal job of really manipulating my car more than what I wanted it. And these cars surprisingly have a lot of aero effect. I didn't quite realize that until this race and maybe Daytona and stuff like that. But yeah, he did a really good job blocking. So I think he learned from that, took the high side, and he was able to hold him off. That was a hell of a run by him for sure.
Well, it was, Mike. It was a hell of a run by you. We talk very highly of you all the time, Mike, and I know victory lane is coming, but podiums, we'll keep racking those up for a while, right?
Yeah, we'll take what we can get. This was a tough track. Not every race is going to fall in your favor, and luck has a lot to do with some of these races. So we'll take all the podiums we can get, that's for sure.
Yes, sir. Points accumulated. The rebound on the way from Daytona. Mike, congrats on third place, brother. We'll turn the mic over to you.
Appreciate it, guys. It's always a pleasure. It's a great partnership we have going on with Wind Tunnel and the commentary you guys provide every week. I really do appreciate it. The league appreciates it. Big shout out to Alive Church for the Sunday League, Caillou Glass on the Gen 4 League on Tuesdays, and East Coast Web Printers. Big shout out to JB. They're phenomenal. Everyone should look into them for all their paper needs. We really appreciate them on Thursday. Big shout out to my Spear group, Jason Spear. He helped me. He logged a lot of laps with me last night. He didn't have the race that he wanted, but he's getting better every week, and I expect him breaking into the top 5, top 3 very soon. Big shout out to all the other Spears, Spear Motorsports, Troy, Newton. He was able to race with us. It's always a blast when Newton's there. I really appreciate, his thoughts in race. Big shout out to the best girl in iRacing, Rachel. She's the best. And Ian was here. He gave it a hell of a run. And I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I really do. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Right.
One more. I gotta thank Bryce. He wasn't in the pit box today, but he does my paints. I cannot forget him. Don't let me forget him. I really appreciate Bryce.
Cue the Batman music and put the light on. Congrats, Mike.
No.
There you go. Jarrett, that is Mike Ottaviani, third place here tonight.
Yeah, and great run for him. And I'm down here on the pit wall with Austin Hunt, another great run. And Austin, I have to say, kind of like Daytona last week, you weren't really in the battle there until the very end, and then all of a sudden you were.
Yeah, it just takes a patience, man. I was getting in the groove. It takes me a little while to get in the groove, anyways, but started getting in the groove. Everybody started pitting early for tires and everything. I just kept on rolling. I felt like the car was just coming to life, but kind of forces your hand to pit after everybody else starts doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that the difference, you think, is the fact that caution came out, you hadn't pitted, you were able to come in and kind of take those tires while, some of the other guys had already come in and had to kind of fight their way through some traffic?
Yeah, I think so. And I think if it would have stayed green for a while, I think I was planning on running, 10, 15 laps longer. That way I could just come out and run it hard the rest of the race. But obviously we got some cautions and stuff. And it just kind of worked out where I was in the right place at the right time there at the end.
Well, Austin, you look at this race, a second place, you won last week, or you finished second last week, sorry, a second this week. Next week, I think we're heading into Iowa or USA Dirt. I can't remember. I might get those flipped. But, another short track either way. How are we feeling about this season? I mean, this is only a second race, but, I mean, have you started to figure some stuff out about this car?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like it. It's really the first couple times I've ever ran it was last week and this week. So definitely starting to figure some stuff out about it. And I'm enjoying it. So we'll see how it goes.
Possible point lead, Jared.
Yeah, it probably is the point leader, yeah. But Austin, great job here tonight. I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you have the last word on your event.
I just want to say good race by everybody. I mean, I know we had some cautions, but it was still a pretty good race. Thankful to the guys that get me some of my sim gear that I use with 4D racewear and all that, and do my paint schemes for me. And just the league in general from putting everything together.
All right, Dean, that's our runner up here tonight, Austin Hunt, probably unofficially our point leader.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't scored as a point leader, but there's a couple bonus points in there. We'll see how that all plays out. But let's turn our attention to the 51. George Leal back in victory lane. How about that, George?
Hey, appreciate that. Fastest car doesn't always win, I guess.
Well, I don't know about all that, George. You look pretty fast to me. I don't know. Well, let's start with that. Who do you got? Who's faster than you tonight?
Oh, I thought I had him covered good in practice. I'm not gonna lie, and I think if Ottaviani would have got out front, he would have been walking the dog on us.
Well, I don't know about all that, George, but I would say track position at Richmond extremely important. What were your thoughts on how important it was when to pit and when not to pit tonight?
Yeah, it's tough, and I knew it was gonna be a hornet's nest back there. I kind of had it in my mind to begin the race that I wasn't gonna pit until we can make it on a run, but I think we got a caution with like 36 laps in, so it was kind of in that like zone where you were going to be completely toast if you didn't. So I just followed those other guys in, and I guess on that last one, I didn't realize how many people actually came down until I looked back when the caution was coming out and Lance was outside of Ottaviani.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, and Hutton too, right, coming up to second. Brantley ends up in fourth. I mean, there was a threat, but time winds down quick here at Richmond. What was the key to driving the car tonight? I mean, this car combo was a little bit off. You had to be pretty smooth tonight, didn't you, George?
Yeah, you did. I had a super wide entry into one, which is great when you're kind of pacing yourself, but when you have somebody behind you, you kind of got to play a little defense. So it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was messing me up a little bit. I wasn't able to do exactly what I wanted to do, and I was still able to keep my tires pretty solid. I think I was 76, 74 on the rights on that first run. Um, but it's just tough. Getting off the corners and not sliding that right rear is really key.
What do you find in the difference between, say, the Xfinity car and this Arca car now, and are you enjoying it?
I'm pretty. I've only run a couple of these Arca races. Xfinity car is my favorite. I just love how free it is. It's my favorite car in real life and in the iRacing. This car, it's real tight on entry. So I don't know how much I like that or not, but at least this setup here was you had to take care of the right rear on the exit, so played pretty well for me. But when we get a setup that's just completely tight all the way around, it's not too fun for me.
Fair enough, George. Well, it's always fun to see you there. You haven't been around as much as you were. You've been busy at home with the family life, man. It's really good to see you back out here and especially back in victory lane. Congratulations, and we'll give you the mic. Shout out anybody you'd like.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys doing the broadcast, and it's good to be back in here talking to you guys. And I want to thank East Coast Web Printers for putting on this Thursday night ARCA series, a live church on Sundays, and Kylie Glass on Tuesdays. And shout out to Austin Hunn and Lance and Otto and Brandon, all those guys. It was pretty good racing up there.
All right, Jared, in victory lane, the 51, George Leal.
Yeah, what a race, and a great job by everybody out there. I mean, really, I thought it was a clean race. A couple of little incidents here and there, but that's to be expected at a short track. So, I thought it was a good race.
Yeah, good race. I think everybody played pretty well with each other here tonight. A lot of fun watching Rachel rock the high side tonight. Deron Cannon in ninth. I always like seeing a newcomer who, as far as I know, didn't ruffle any feathers and still had a top 10. That's a major win, Jared.
Absolutely, and I think that's how we're going to have the season going forward. Is guys that can stay out of trouble, be clean, not ruffle feathers. I think they're going to be around at the end of the year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Great night of racing here at Richmond Raceway. That'll about wrap it up. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Jared Carr. And we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.